Hi everybody, welcome. Thank you for joining us for this webinar. I'm Guillaume Deglise, I'm the International Director for DBR Lafitte here in Bordeaux, and we are delighted to share with you the launch of Cromas, the new Grand Reserve range from Viña Los Vascos. The estate in Colchagua and the marketing department in Bordeaux did a great job to make this happen. I'm very pleased to be with Anne Figmont of the marketing department of DBR Lafitte, and we are live with Philippe Rollet, the estate manager for Los Vascos.
Hi.
Buenas tardes,
Hi,
Philippe.
Buenas tardes.
Bienvenidos a todos nuestros amigos de Latinoamérica. Estaremos a su disposición para contestar a vuestras preguntas. Anne, can you explain how this is going to happen?
Yes, thank you, Guillaume. Hello, everyone. It's a pleasure to have you for this webinar. I will now start the presentation. So just for your information, I will explain you how the webinar will take place. So first, I will do a quick reminder on the Los Vascos brand platform that's available on our extranet. Then I will present the range architecture of Los Vascos and explain you our new concept, Cromas. Then Philippe Rollet at Los Vascos will do a deeper technical presentation of our wines and we'll test them with you. And finally, I will say a few words on the first section regarding Cromas. If you have any question during this webinar, please use the chat. You can use the icon at the top right corner of the screen. So, as you probably know, at the beginning of the year 2020, we developed a new brand platform for Los Vascos. To do this, we look at all the different elements that make Los Vascos unique, and we ended with the spirit of cultivating independence. To do that, we define 3 values for Los Vascos. The first one is independence, the second one community, and to be holistic. Because our land is so special and unique, we develop our own techniques and methods, and also a free spirit personality. Our estate is more than just a vineyard. It's a complete ecosystem where each element is an occasion to interact and develop to benefit the whole. Through this new platform, we have reviewed the packaging so that it's more in line with LV has identity, personality, our ambition, but also what we want to tell you through our wines. So here you can see the range architecture for Los Vascos wine. So at the top of the pyramid, you can see the dis. So our ambition for this wine is to produce a timeless icon. For now, there is no change on the label design, but we are working on a slight refreshment of the label. Below, you have the Cromas Grand Reserva. So this wine, our trademark. The Cromas Grand Reserva replaced the previous Grand Reserve and Grand Reserve Carmener, and we will talk to you to this wine after. And then you have the classical range. So this classical range is composed with a Cabernet Sauvignon, a Rosé, a Sauvignon Blanc, and a Chardonnay. Regarding this range, it's a range of varietal wines with a touch of sophistication, and we only did a design refreshment of these labels. Let's now talk about our new concept, Cromas, its identity, story, and wines. Working on this range, our technical team reminded us that nature, through its colors, sends us many messages. This is how Cromas' name was born, meaning color in Greek, with its motto, color is the language of nature. Every tone, every shade, every nuance is a message from nature. As cultivators, years of caring observation have taught us to read the powerful signs nature sends us to guide our action and our daily choices. Learning to read the subtle signs has helped us craft wines that are a true reflection of the potential of the terroir of Los Vascos. These colorful wines are called Cromas. Here you can see the key visual for Cromas. So this new range is composed of two wines, the Cromas Grand Reserva Cabernet Sauvignon and the Cromas Carmener Grand Reserva. Now, to transport you into Cromas universe, there is nothing better than showing you a short video that transcribes the identity of Cromas, so you can feel the spirit of Los Vascos and see all the color for Cromas.
In Los Vascos, every season of the year surprises us with specific colors of the terroir. Nature gives us a universe full of shapes, sizes, textures, and mostly colors, and they all inspire us to make Cromas. Cromas is derived from the Greek word for color. We have learned how to read the colors of the nature that surrounds us. The intense purple blue of the Andes Mountains, the black sand of the Pacific Ocean, which gives us the soft breezes on the afternoon. The rich diversity of our soil, showed in a wide variety of colors, which gave our wine such an elegance. The changing shades of the leaves, that it's the perfect moment for the harvest. Year after year, our teams have worked to select the sweeted terroir to produce the wine that could best synthesize the unique spirit and complexity of Los Vascos. Climbing higher and higher, they have explored the foothill of the mountains and found this specific kind of occult granites that seem suited to plant new vineyards to produce wine of incomparable precision and elegance.
Our Cabernet Sauvignon for Cromas Grand Reserva has been selected from plots at the foothills, where they benefit from an optimal exposure and light intensity. Nowhere like in Chile does the power of nature express itself through the intensity of the light and to the magnificence and diversity of colors. From the unique red hues of the Andes mountain to the ultramarine ocean, Carmener, Chile's iconic varietal, has captured the magnitude and rawness of the surrounding environment.
Learning how to figure out these little signs has helped us elaborate the wines that are the true reflection of the huge potential of the terroir of Los Vascos. Salud!
I hope you enjoyed this video. So just for your information, this video will be available on our Electronet. So if you want to watch it later or share it, you will be able to do it. So now I'm delighted to hand you back to Philippe Rollet at Los Vascos. We'll do the live testing of our wines.
Thank you, and nice to meet you here in Colchagua. Bienvenidos a todos. Estoy acá en medio de los viñedos de Los Vascos. I am here in the middle of the estate of Los Vascos. Beside me, we started the harvest today. So it's our first day of the harvest 2021. We started with Sauvignon Blanc this morning. I am the estate manager of both Bodegas Caro in Argentina and Los Vascos in Chile. I've been living in South America for 20 years. So just to, for a quick remind, Chile is this small, tiny land, which is located on the west of the South America. It's a land which is very wide, very long, because it has 4,200 kilometers long, but just a maximum width of 200 kilometers. Here's the most important thing here are, in terms of climate, are, you know that we are on the other sphere. So the coldest is on the south, the hottest is on the north, and we have here a lot of differences of temperature also coming from the Andes to the ocean. This is very important for us. In terms of climate, the position of the estate to the ocean is probably more important. The closest to the ocean is probably more important than the position north and south. because here Chile basically is a natural sanctuary. On the north, we've got a very, very important desert, which is Atacama Desert, which protects us for a lot of diseases. On the west, there's the south, we've got the Pacific Ocean. It's very deep because you can understand that we have the Andes on one side, then the small step in, and then the ocean goes very deep, very fast. We don't have a lot of I don't remember the name in English, playas here. And so this is natural sanctuary. Here we don't have, for example, we don't have phylloxera. We don't have a lot of diseases. And basically we are here in Colchagua, which is 200 kilometers south of Santiago, in a valley which is sometimes known as the Napa of Chile, where we have some of the big names of the Chilean viticulture here. Besides from us, our neighbors are La Apostol or Montes. And here at Los Vascos, we are the largest single vineyard in the valley. We are 40 kilometers from the sea, from the ocean. And this is one of the things I already mentioned, very important for us, because we have usually daytime, which may be hot, but at nighttime, especially at this moment where the grapes are ripening, we have very cold nights. Usually it's very difficult to stay outside without a good sweater. After 8 p.m. when the sun goes down, then the natural breezes from the ocean is coming into the valley, and it's very cold, and that really creates natural conditions to produce top grapes, as you already know in our wines. We have here, the estate is very big. I mean, the property in total is 3,600 hectares. That's almost 7,000 acres, and we are quite far away from everywhere. So it means that this complete property works as an ecosystem. We have our own nursery for vine grapes, for vine plants, vines. We also have cows, we have lambs, we produce our own honey. We have also our own production of olive oil. And this is a complete ecosystem, and in the center of it, the most important is naturally the vineyards, where we have today almost 700 hectares within production. And the wines that we are going to taste today is basically an evolution of our viticulture techniques in the last 20 years. I would say that the one major irrigation innovation, or one of the major innovation in the last 20 years has been drip irrigation. We installed drip irrigation probably 15 years ago, and this allows basically to bring each vine the exact amount of water that is required at a specific period of time, depending to the evapotranspiration of the plant. We're going to be able to recompose exactly what the plant needs at that time. It means no excess of water for one side, and on the other side, no stress, or a stress that we can measure and limit. And the other major innovation or evolution of our estate has been since now 2010, plantings on the slope of the property. And this the property is an amphitheater where we have slopes everywhere, and basically we have colonized those slopes, and this opened definitely a universe of new exposition in terms of slopes. Not all of them are looking at the same direction, and also a new universe in terms of soil and subsoil. So basically that's new terroir that we have been colonizing in the last 10 years. And basically those terroirs have also different colors depending on the composites. Mainly on those slopes, the difference is that we found more granitic alteration of different colors. Some are more whites, other are more chocolate in terms of color, while traditionally the vineyards of the estates were planted on mainly the bottom of the valley, where we find more clay. So it's a new terroir that is expressed within those two Cromas wine that comes mainly from the slopes of the estate. So I will first present the Cromas Cabernet Sauvignon. So as you can see, in terms of label, it's a revolution for the estate. Because it's the first time within the creation of the estate where we have color introduced to the label. All of the label of the estate so far have been white, and in this case, for the Cabernet Sauvignon, you already know that Cabernet Sauvignon from the estate aged very well. It's probably one of the it has a very long or great capacity of aging, and we symbolize a little bit this evolution or potential evolution with the colors you can find here that are typical from Cabernet Sauvignon, which come from very ruby to more garnet, I would say, on the side. So this could play a role in the evolution of the wines, and we also included some of a nice touch of texture with some veins of leaves of vines in the new label. So this is the actual wine that is going to reach the market right now. We are shipping the wine right now. Is a vintage 2018, which has been a very easygoing vintage, I would say, everywhere in South America. It has been a vintage, very simple, dry, and I would say normal, without too much water, without too much heat, an easygoing vintage from a winemaker point of view. This wine is Cabernet technically. It's not 100% Cabernet. We added to this wine 10% of Syrah, which is a grape which has a very high potential here in Los Vascos, and also 5% of Carmenère. It was vinified in stainless steel. All the wines of Los Vascos are vinified in stainless steel, and then we don't make a lot of extraction because the wines planted of the slopes have natural good concentration, because the terroir or the soils are poorer, so the vines usually produce less grapes, more concentrated. And then the wines was aged for the half of the cuvée in French oak that we produce partly in DBR or Lafite own cooperage that we manage in Pauillac, close to Lafite, during 18 months for half of the cuvée, and then the wines was blended with his brother, which didn't go to barrels, just to keep more fruit and more tension. So I taste it for you. So the wine is strawberry, it's red fruit. You can find cherries probably, a little bit of toffee. And on the palate, the tannins are very elegant. It's probably the main difference that we have between the former Grand Reserve that you knew and the new one, the Cromas. Probably one of the main differences is that the grain of tannins that we find on the slopes is thinner, and usually it produces wines with more elegance. Also, in this wine, you will find what I believe is the probably the most typical point, or in terms of tasting, that you can find from the great Cabernet from Los Vascos. It's graphite. It's very, you have this graphite aftertaste, which is probably what the characteristic that more characterize this wine. For sure, the wine is ready to be drunk, but it's also a wine that would age very well, probably up to 10 years.
Philippe, can you recommend any food pairing with this wine?
Well, if I would taste it right now, just to improve it right now, I would go directly for grilled meat, probably lamb or a big T-bone. It would be perfect. But loves wine with a little bit of evolution, and if we project ourselves within 5 years, where we'll have a wine with more complexity, it probably will be suitable for meat, but cooked with some sauce or some venison, something more complete. So depending on the stage the wine is, either a grilled meat or a cooked meal would be definitely wise for this wine.
Okay, thank you, Philippe. Can you tell us more about the Carmenère now?
Sure. So the Carmenère is completely different in terms of colors. You can see that we choose the blue color. Why? Because basically Carmenère, first of all, you know that Carmenère, or Chile, is a country which has the highest production of Carmenère worldwide. We have 9,000 hectares of Carmenère here in Chile, and it is really one of the top grapes, not only from Chile but also Colchagua Valley. And basically, the grapes of Carmenère, when they are mature, show hints of blue. And technically, if you just take the when it's mature, if you take the berry and crush it in your hand, it will make a stain. It will ink your hands. So this is why we choose this blue color to illustrate Carmenère. The vintage 2019 was very different from the 2018 we have seen earlier. It was a vintage which was warm, or very warm at the beginning. We have had up to 40 Celsius degrees during the maturation period, which is far away our usual temperature. But at night, temperature went down to 10 degrees Celsius degrees. So it means that we have at 30 degrees of difference night and day, which is definitely something the Carmenère loves. And it loves high temperature, but also cold nights. And definitely this is a very nice vintage for this Carmenère 2019. In terms of vinification, we have the same pattern as Cabernet Sauvignon, but with even less extraction, because naturally the grapes of Carmenère are very easy to extract. It means that once put in the tank, you don't need to over pump or over extract to achieve the tannin and anthocyane concentration. And it has had the same aging of the Cabernet Sauvignon, which means that half of the cuvée passed through French oak, and not 100% new. And then after 1 year, this part, which was aged in barrel, was blended back with his brother, which was aged in tank. So here, the universe of this wine is very different in terms of style and most of because of the difference of varietal. We are here with more the black side. With we have black cherry. We may have cacao, paper, and we have something also herbaceous, which is very nice. This kind of herbaceous that you can find in the south of France, which is very typical from Carmenère varietal. It's very one of the very specific of this grape. In the mouth, the wine is still very tannic, but you have a silky finish, which is a little bit sweet. It's not sweetness. It's not. There's no sugar in this wine, but the impression that will leave the wine at the end of the mouth is sweetness, roundness. It's a wine that will age also very well, probably not as long as the Cabernet Sauvignon, which is still the grape that has the most aging potential. But it's a wine that could be drunk from now to, I would say, 7 years.
Yeah, Philippe, maybe another specific question on Carmenère. How close are the Carmenère vineyards from the ocean? And another question which you can answer right after this one is, we noticed that you taste the Carmenère after the Cabernet Sauvignon. Is it something that you usually recommend, or is it linked with the vintage?
Well, first question: the estate is 40 kilometers away from the ocean. It's for this specific grape and also for the Cabernet. It's very good because we benefit from the heat of the valley and of the Andes, basically, where you have the sun which reflects on the rocks of the Andes, makes a warm central valley from Chile. But we are not too far away from the ocean. 40 kilometers is quite close, so that enables the breezes to come and to refresh the night. This is a very specific of Colchagua Valley, and more precisely of Peralillo, where we are, because we are out of the Colchagua Valley. We are one of the closest to the ocean in terms of position, and in terms of order of tasting, I choose to present first the Cabernet today because Cabernet is older. It's 18, but I would say that if I would have had the same vintages, I would have switched them. I would have started with the Cromas Carmenère, which is sweeter in terms of end of mouth, and finished and goes after with the Cromas Cabernet, which is a little more what's the name for it? Maybe more aristocratic in terms of in terms of the end of the mouth, more longer also. But that depending on the that's because of the vintages.
Okay, thank you, Philippe. Another question from Katie. What are your tasting recommendations? Do we have to open the bottle before decant?
Well, those wines are young, and that's true. If you plan to drink them immediately, I would recommend for a consumer, I would recommend to decant it. As a professional, I prefer not to decant it, so that I can discover the wine from the moment 1 until 10 minutes or 1 hour, so that it opens on itself. And I always think that patience probably reward the people that can have the opportunity to wait a little more and to discover the and to understand all the matices of the wine. But if you have to drink it, young as it is right now for a meal, yes, I would recommend to decant them.
We have an interesting question here, Philippe, about the style of these wines. Would you say that our style is more French than what is usually produced in the Colchagua Valley?
Well, those wines have a true Chilean soul, but they are made under the supervision and with the coordination of DBR technical supervision. So yes, I would say that they have a French touch, and one of the things that characterize our estate is that we use most of our barrels are produced at DBR or Lafitte own cooperage that we have in Pauillac. And we select our own oak, we dry it ourselves. It means that we have a total control on the final product, on the barrels. And usually those barrels are toasted lighter than any of our competitors. So it's barrels that usually help us to structurate the wine, that have more influence on the mouth than an influence of really on the nose, on the aromas. They are more neutral. And so in this way, and also because we don't use any American oak, yes, we could say that it is a Chilean soul with a kind of a French style or a French touch in those wines.
Okay, thank you, Philippe. We'll try to answer to all your questions. Anyway, we'll back to the question at the end of the presentation. If you have any question, please just ask, and we are pleased to answer to the question at the end of the presentation. Just a few words regarding the press action for Cromas. So for now, we can confirm that we obtained a rating from Patricio Tapia from Descorchados with 91 points for both wine, and also Kim Marcus from the Wine Spectator with 80 points for the Carmenère. 90 points on the Carmenère. We also have advertising campaign in Decanter and Falstaff, and also in the Millinger Wine Business International. We are also waiting for other waiting from Tim Atkin and Jens Suckling. And we also participate to the Mundus Vini competition, which takes place at the end of February in Germany. So we are also waiting for the ratings. Maybe let's see if there is other question.
Yeah, we have an obvious question for you, Philippe, is about the Cromas range itself. You are presenting 2 wines today. The next question, of course, is are there other wines that will be expanding the range in the future? And especially, there is a question for a white Cromas.
Yeah, on the short term, well, first of all, we have planted on the slopes. The slope of the estate for us opens a new area of investigation because there was no planting before. Has been planted on the slopes, so it's brand new for us in terms of exposure, soil, subsoil, and we have been planting several grapes in order to see what would be the most suited. So it's a work in progress. We are still in current investigation about it. What is sure is that we are going to produce 2 new Cromas on the short term. I believe that it will be launched this year with a limited edition or limited release. First is Syrah. Syrah is very well adapted to the terroir of Los Vascos. We have this granitic sand that is found on the slope of the Andes, and you probably know that most of or top Syrah of the world are usually produced on granite. So it's nothing new there. We have very good result with Syrah, and we are going to launch a Cromas Syrah so this year. And the other thing, which was a specific project of Saskia. Saskia loves Cabernet Franc, and we have planted some Cabernet Franc here on some granitic slopes, which was more on the white color and or very light cream color. And we have very good results. Actually, Saskia was surprised by the quality, and we also are going to launch a limited release of Cabernet Franc later this year. Regarding the whites, I would say that I would love. I will say that I would love to produce a Cromas white. I don't know which grape, but we are still under investigation set right now, so you need to give us a little more time, and I hope to be able to introduce a white wine to this Cromas range.
Thank you, Philippe. We have another question. Do you have an organic approach in the vineyard?
Could you repeat?
Do you have an organic approach in the vineyard?
Yes, absolutely. Part of the estate of the wine of the grape production is already produced under organic control or standard, better said. And for now 4 years, we don't use any pesticide or any insecticide in any of our vineyards, not only in Peralillo, in Los Vascos, but it's a general politic from the group, from DBR Group. So we don't use any insecticides in our estate. It means that we have no residues of pesticides in our wines. So that's part of the work in progress. I hope personally to be able to certify the whole production of Los Vascos organic in the near future. Not only the grape, but also our olive oil and other products. And this is a work in progress. But yes, we already produce part of our wines under organic standard.
All right, thank you, Philippe. We have a question about the availability of those wines. So I will probably answer this question. The wines are already available in some markets, and they are on their way for others. So it's depending really on the market. So please talk to the person in charge of your market, Laetitia in Canada, Cedric in the US, and Jose Thomas for the rest of Latin America. They will answer this question. We are working at the moment on the right activation for these wines. A new gift box will be also available for retail business, and many initiatives can be discussed also with us and with all our importers.
We also have another question from Laetitia. I have a customer who was unable to attend today, so will this presentation webinar be available via a link to watch on replay, please? So yes, this webinar has been recording, so you will be able to watch it again or share it with other people if you want. The webinar will also be available on our extranet.
I may also add something. Because those wines are very well able to age, we are thinking about having those wines available in Magnum in the short future for you.
Sorry, Philippe, we have another question about formats. Will this wine, Cromas, will be available in half bottles?
No, so far they have never been available in half bottles. because they are basically those wines are the half bottle are not very suitable for aging wines, and both wines have a very nice aging potential. So we are thinking of a limited release of magnum of those wines, just to show the capacity to age, not half bottles.
Okay, Philippe, I think we are getting closer to the end of this presentation. Maybe you can say a few words about the harvest, since you mentioned you are starting the harvest today.
Yes.
What is the overlook of the 2021 harvest?
Yeah, it's very premature to say it, because it's the first day of the harvest, and we have still 1 month until our reds will be ready. We have had a very normal year until the end of January. I mean, it was a very normal year, and then at the beginning of January we have had some rains and more cloudy days than usual. This is probably to do with La Nina. You know that La Nina is this current which is going into the ocean and making colder the ocean, and we can see its influence arrive here usually once 5 years, and depending on the temperature of the ocean, that is hard to measure. It will have more or less influence of the weather here in South America, and here we can see until at least those last 15 days have been more cloudy than usual. But it is said that from the next week, it will be absolutely sunny. Anyway, what is true is that these cloudy days are probably making or getting the harvest a little later this year than other years. So we are starting today with the Sauvignon Blanc, because we want to catch the thiol aromas of the grapes. Then we might stop we will stop at least for 1 week and start our harvest of Chardonnay by the end of next week. And then we have at least 1 month to wait for our red wines, and I will be able to have a better view on what's going to be the vintage within 1 month, when we know really what's going to happen in the next months. But so far,
Okay,
so good.
Thank you, Philippe. So just a quick record. In the following days, you will receive a lunch kit with all the visual needed. We will send you also a press kit, so you can have a deeper look at it. Thank you, everyone, for your participation. Guillaume, you want to say something?
Well, thank you, Philippe. I think that just like me, you are just now willing to travel out of Chile and me out of France to meet with our customers everywhere in the American continent. So we very much look forward to it, I think both of us. Thank you for your participation. Stay safe, everyone, and we hope to see you very soon. Thank you.
Thank you. Have a great day.
Thank you. Bye. Hasta luego.